as a business professor that's building a platform, software platform, I realized that there's a big difference, a big gap between building something and actually doing it and what you actually study. And I don't think that there is a really good comparison to sort of get to some of those things, except for some really simple things. And I'm going to talk about that today. So if you don't know me, I am Professor Dave Maslock. I'm Associate Professor of Innovation, Strategy, and Entrepreneurship. And I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There's so many people that help me out that I want to pay the favor forward and help you out. So I'm on a walk right now, and we're just having a little bit of a winter storm. So bear with the wind. If you don't hear it every once in a while, I apologize. But, I wanted to talk about the sort of thing where, when you study, business or whatever particular area that you're studying, whether it's engineering, whatever. So I actually have my undergrad's in engineering. I'm a business professor. I've studied innovation and entrepreneurship for a long time. Taught undergrad, MBA courses, and PhD courses, and all this kind of stuff. And it strikes me as really interesting, first of all, the extent to which people look down on somebody doing it for, actually doing something like this. And I think I'm the only one. There is occasionally, I see, somebody doing something similar but not quite in terms of the scale of what I'm doing. It is striking to me that people look down on this, right? The more that I've started to do this, I realize that it is really challenging to deal with that. And there's this real challenge with sort of dealing with the academic and practitioner divide, I guess, is really what it is. The funny thing is that this whole thing was my desire to become a better academic, to be able to write better, and B, to help out other people become better academics, and then C, to have some sort of platform so that we can do better social science, and we could do what is called randomized controlled trials on it. So it's hilarious that this whole effort is sort of seen as a practitioner effort, when it really is something that is really, the whole genesis of it was to become, how do you become a better researcher and encourage people to do better research. So it's been really strange that way, and yet people sort of look down at it and, don't view it in the way that I thought people would view it. That's actually been one of the more striking things for me, is coming to terms with people just don't care about it, and that's really striking. So that's the first thing. And the second thing, and I don't want to dwell too long on that, because that's been a journey in terms of coming to terms with it. And the second thing is realizing that there's a tremendous amount of sort of tacit knowledge that you learn when you do something, you put it into practice. And this is definitely what's happened. But, the learning is not necessarily, it's not hard. It's not like learning about, endogeneity and regression models and things like that have actually taken a fair bit of cognitive power. But it's really, really simple things like getting up and doing it every day, learning how to sort of know to do it every day, learning that it doesn't do it by itself, that there's just like a lot that goes on to it that are very sort of simple life lessons, and the biggest thing is some of the things, like, I thought it would be easy to sort of get, people to fundraise and people to come together around something, and it's really not. There's a heck of a lot to it, and, people just really don't care, right? So, I apologize again, it's windy. But where I'm getting at here is the divide between, doing something and sort of studying it and understanding it. And the questions are not even the same when you do that. They're not even remotely the same in terms of what you're looking at and what you're trying to do. And, they're sort of considered not necessarily they're maybe not considered as legitimate, I guess, in the academic world. And it's really quite interesting to sort of think about this, of what it means. I mean, like writing a study about getting up and doing something every day. That would be not necessarily considered a. I wrote a paper recently, or I'm writing one, and that was one line in the entire paper was one sentence that you have to do this, but yet it's everything. That is the paper. That is what you do, and learning how to deal with that every day. It's very interesting. It's sort of stark contrast in terms of where we wish, and the rest of the world wishes where these things are and where it actually is. They're really different, and to sort of be smaller, I guess, with what you're doing is not necessarily recognized as sort of a legitimate course of action. So anyways, my point is that, if you do something like this, expect to get a lot of really unusual reactions, and, expect it to be a lot different and more mundane than you ever imagine, right? There's lots of mundane stuff that happens that you do day in and day out. So that's all I wanted to say. I apologize if the quality is not great. It's pretty windy, but, just keep going, keep doing it. Have a good day.